Hello, in this lecture we'll take a look at the simple sort of arrangement of this type that you can pass through the methods, through the task methods, through everything else. Now, this can be a bit more elaborate. You can check out my other videos on this sort of stuff, and you can check out my courses on APIs. Very useful for API clients and things of that nature. This sort of dynamic type arrangement. But in this case, I'm just going to show you the simple way. It's a simple interpretation of it, very simple. So we do have a test method with a type of any type essentially, right? And then we use it, we execute this method with a double return. So we expect this to return a double. We pass through a variable of some kind, so a parameter. In this case, the parameter is object. It will usually be object when you use something like this. Or you might be getting it from JSON and things of that nature, and you're trying to cast it. You're doing all those things. So that's kind of how it's used. But basically, then in this case, we try to cast it, and we have 5.5. So 5.5 would be a double. It will work perfectly fine as a double. It will go through here, and then right here through this dynamic type, we will be able to cast it. So then we can look at this. The result is indeed 5.5. However, if say I do an integer here, so now this dynamic type will be the t will be integer, right? Will be integer. And then this will try to cast the value, which will be 5.5, to an integer. So guess what happens? An error, an exception. That's not good, but it can be a great thing for you if you implement something like this, perhaps using a third-party API, perhaps using your own API. Now, normally you don't do this to deal with errors, right? So you do this to deal with different outcomes, with different results. Most likely you'll be dealing with something like this from different APIs. If you want to learn more about APIs and doing this sort of stuff with clients, you can take a look at my API course as well as my Blazor course. That works well as well in there. But basically, you might have different results based on different parameters. So you provide different parameters in your API clients, in your API calls, you get different results. So you will need to cast different types. In this case, of course, we're just using for a little example, integer and double. It could be string, but it could also be your own classes, your models. So you could cast different results. Maybe it's an error result, maybe some other result. So you can have that generic result plus your actual result from those all different outcomes. So that's basically how it works. Essentially, you just put these two chevrons, you put t, and then you can use that down the line in that method to use that either as type of perhaps, or something else, or casting it. Lots of different arrangements you can do, but that is how it begins, and essentially that's what I'm trying to provide in this video, which is how you can do it. So that's going to be your type, and then you can use it whatever way it suits you. And with that said, we will conclude this video.